Alright, the Nordco Rail Crane RBUG Operation Maintenance Manual applies to rebuilt rail cranes only. Um, Latest version are A, August 2010. Section 1 Safety. Safety alert symbols, definition, general safety tips, safety prior to working, safety while starting the machine, safety while operating, traveling, safety while parked, safety during maintenance, machine safety alerts, lockout and tag out requirements, lockout, tag out procedures. Section 2 General about this manual, machine specification, general machine, general crane system specification, single loaded capacity operation, optional info, working and winds recommendation, machine dimensional information not available for time for printing. Section 3, before operation, general upper frame, lower deck, upper frame superstructure, lower frame carrier, crane, boom and winch system, anti-two block, center sole, console, engine, transmission controls, gauges, engine diagnostic, Murphy, overhead console, aerotronic heater, timer, crane smart, LMI, brake propulsion, and hand controls, miscellaneous controls. Section 4, startup, preparing the machine for work, engine operation, startup checklist, travel, general, downshifting engine speed, propelling, disabling of the propulsion pedal, braking and parking brakes, setting up the crane, planning, relift, rapid stopping of loads, rapid release of loads, rapid swing rate, super elevated track, boom angle, working near transmitters, anti-true blocking, tramp, crane capacity, load, moment, indicator, weight, weather safety conditions. Section 6, operation extreme cold, operation in rainy and humid conditions, operated in dusty and sandy areas, machine operation before operation of the machine, to operate the machine, emergency procedures after operations. Section 7, maintenance safety during the maintenance use of the OEME recommended practices, Nordco contact numbers, lubrication maintenance schedule, lubrication maintenance instruction, transmission, slowing ring, air dryer, crane system, general general pneumatic drive, pneumatic hydraulic winches, magnet winches, rotomatic magnet gear, generator, sheaves, rope inspection. All right. Safety. Please read and comply with all the safety precautions for this manual before operating the machine. General. Do not use the machine for this machine operation for the, other than which it was intended. Nordico is not responsible for any modification without authorization or written approval. Place Nordico or the OEM parts with the general Nordico or OEM parts. Use of the non-OEM parts could compromise the safety of your machine. FRA regulations require that a copy of this operation manual be kept with the machine at all times. Additional copy of the operation manual only can be ordered from Nordico Parts Sales at 1-800-647-1724. Follow safety instructions. Carefully read all the safety messages in this manual. Learn how to operate the machine and how to use the control properly. Do not let anyone operate the machine without instruction. Failure to understand what the contents of this manual could result in serious personal injury or death. Safety alerts in this manual are for the machine as it was designed. The operator and job site supervisor should have knowledge of the applicable OSHA regulations in the U.S. and CSA standards in Canada, Z15098, and suggested American Society of Mechanical Engineering, American National Standard Institute safety standards for cranes. Grid reference source for crane safety is the Department of Energy standard for hoisting and rigging. Copy of standards experts specifically related into those rail cranes can be found on the DVD or CD supplied with this machine. It is not provided on paper. It is not provided on the paper format. All right. Safety alert symbols. Check out the large white and black block with the extreme exclamation point. They are safety alerts for symbols. These symbols means pay attention to your safety risk. A square danger with a triangle and an exclamation point in white and red is danger used with indicating definite hazard situation which is not avoided will result in severe bodily harm or even death. A square triangle with exclamation point yelling black is hazard as warning indicates potential hazard situation which is not avoided and could result in severe bodily harm or injury. Your yellow caution with an explanation point triangle caution indicates a potential hazard situation which is not avoided may result in minor or moderate injury. Caution yellow and green shows caution without safety of the exclamation point means that the failure to follow the alert may result in machine damage. And a green and white safety means the following points of our instruction are safely operating with the machine and specific component of the machine. General safety tips. Only trained authorized personnel should be allowed to operate the machine. In addition, with all personnel with the work gained should be aware of the safety concerns and their individual responsibility prior to working with this machine. Safety. Handle fuel safely is highly flammable and prolonged breathing of the fumes and may cause bodily harm. Prepare emergencies. Keep a fire extinguisher and fire extinguisher handy. Wear good-fitting pants and shirts, no baggy, loose clothing. Protect your head and eyes, wearing your hard hat, safety glasses, weather gloves to protect your hands from vibration or flying metal particles. Use safety-toed work boots. Safety priorities working. All personnel worksite gangs should be aware of the safety concerns for their individual responsibility prior to working with this machine. Safety. Review the operating instructions. You are unsure of anything. Use the startup checklist to check for the machine's obvious fault. Prepare for the replace the necessary prior to operating with the machine. Before climbing onto the machine, make certain that areas around it under the machine is clear of obstruction and personnel. Use the care when climbing into the machine. Always use the steps and hazard provided in the area that does not have tread grips, walk away, other methods of access area that do not attempt the access to the area. Make seat and control adjustments prior to starting with the machine. Always wear a seatbelt. Know the weather forecast. Plan your work speeds accordingly. The guards of the machine they are removed. These are to be removed only when the service of machine maintenance is performed on the area of the machine. Make certain that they have been reinstalled prior to the starting of the machine. Check in service with the firefighter and extinguisher regular intervals. Make certain that all personnel trained to use it. Note that non-use of fire extinguisher still requires that it be recharged at intervals stated on the last inspection notice. Keep the stairs and cab entryway, platform, and cab interior free of clear of the ice and tools and personal items. Use the accessory provided on the machine, toolbox, cup holder, a coat hook, etc. Properly store near your gear. Never climb. Allow climbers onto the machine while it's in motion. There are lockups of the machine that are used to both work and travel. These should be kept clear and free of debris, grease, etc. See lockup section for instruction on their use. Inspection safety decals replaced where they become unreadable and are damaged. Say safety decals at the end of the safety section. Safety while starting the machine. Nordco recommends the use of the command position. This means that the machine is never running unless someone is at or near the main control panel and remote control boxes to prevent injury from the personal damage of the machine, and is highly recommended. Safety. 1. Only start the operator with the machine when it's operated from the seat. 2. Check the startup checklist. Check the main controls engaged to make certain the system is operating correctly. Safety while operating and traveling. Safety. Assume all the power lines are live, and while operating with the boom, make certain that the boom and the load is at least 10 feet away from electrical power lines. If you do not know the voltage of the power lines you're working in close proximity to, assume the maximum volts stay clear at least 45 feet. You have to do. If you do hit a power line, swing the crane clear power. If the power line breaks stuck on the boom of the machine, do not attempt to clear the line from the machine. Stay in the cab until you know that the power is off. Do not allow anyone to touch any part of the machine. It is all live. If your machine catches fire, you need to get out of the cab. The power has been turned off. The line has been cleared. You must jump clear of the machine. Clear of the machine. You do not touch any part of the machine during the escape. Do not touch the crane while stepping on the ground. This will be fatal. Be especially careful when swinging the load's momentum can effectively case the load to exceed the crane's capacity. Be aware of the reduce the crane capacity loaded at the right angle with the track over the side. Refer to the capacity chart with the dimensional information in the general section of the manual for more information. Never overhoist the boom. Lift past 80 degrees. It's possible to cause the boom to buckle and fall backwards over the crane body. Use extreme caution when releasing the load. When crane supporting with the load, when stretched, there is a stretch of the boom pendant cables deflecting with the boom structure. Load with suddenly release the boom will spring backwards when pendant stretch and boom deflection comes out. If it happens while the boom is raised at the high angle, the boom could topple backwards over the crane. If the crane is a super elevated track, the lifting capacity over the low side is reduced. The crane is equipped to stop the clamps. Stop clamps must be placed at the inner tube of the stabilizer to act as the mechanical stop in case the cutout system fails. These stop clamps are provided with the machine, and they should be located according to the diagram shown below. Stop clamps on the boom, on the crane. Caution: hitting mechanical stops may cause damage to the boom. A cutout system falls mechanical stop as in inspection of the boom may damage before attempting to before attempting any lifts. 8. Never operate the crane with a damaged boom. Even slightly damaged can greatly reduce the boom strength. The boom must be replaced and repaired where the boom crane is used. Never use the winch to drag load or into position before lifting. This may size the load the crane or stress the wire rope beyond safe limits. Damage to the equipment may result. Never allow more riders than seats or seat belts allowed. The machine was designed to operate by one person and allows one per passenger. This machine is equipped with a seat, a cutoff switch that disables the machine function. The operators ask him to stand to operate the machine. Do not disable the function. Press the emergency setup button on the central control console in emergencies, potential dangerous situations. 13. If personnel or bystanders are near the machine during operation, give the warning signal using the horn. If they fail to respond to the stop warning, stop operation immediately. 14. Slow down the work cycle. Use the slow travel speeds in congested and populated areas. 15. Halt work in visibility. Poor, strong rains, fog, extremely dusty conditions can affect visibility in your work area. Wait for the weather to improve before continuing work. Halt work if winds exceed 19 miles an hour. High winds can affect stability. Never allow ice to build up on the braking of the shoe that greatly impair the braking efficiency. Never operate the machine without working with the crane's smart LMI. This is an essential piece of safety equipment. Safety while parked. The following guidelines are suggested while parking the machine. Never allow the ice to build on the brake shoes. They greatly impair your ability to apply the brakes. Allow store of the machines with all attachments in the stored position with the safety pins, chains, etc. in proper place. 3. Always downshift the machine to park and apply the air brake and set the brake valve in the cab on the position. Climb out of the machine, set the manual train brake, the hand wheel onto the lower frame on the machine as well as the train brakes on all attached rail cars if applicable. When leaving the machine engine running, make certain the train line brake is applied and the electrical interlock button has been activated. Never stop and park the machine on an incline unless the machine wheels have been choked. Safety during maintenance. The following guidelines are suggested for the performing maintenance. Safety during maintenance. The following guidelines are suggested for when performing maintenance. 1. Always check the wheels and set the handbrake or the hand parking brake. Always alter others into the area of service maintenance and being performed on the machine. Become familiar with the use of your company's lockout and tag procedure when performing maintenance on the machine. See the lockout tag requirements later in the safety section for the chart of the energy source located on the machine. 4. Do not start the engine repairs. Work to be performed alone. Should always have at least 2 people working together. If the engine must be during the service, one person needs to remain in the command position at the controls, ready to stop the machine and shut off the engine if necessary. Need arises. 4. 5. Collect oil and fuels. Dispose of the property. This is a working in danger of scalding when working with engine and transmission fluids or oils. Use only Nordco supplied repair parts of the machine. Use the non-OEM or design parts that will compromise the integrity of the machine. The welding cautions on the machine pay attention to them prior to welding. Never weld to the boom. It could be detrimental to the structural integrity and cause the failure to collapse in the boom. Kits supplied by the Nordco have the welding instructions included. Weldings of any components not on the Nordco manufacturer. Failure to follow these instructions may affect the stability of the machine. Alright, machine safety alerts. You get the danger. Untrained operator subject himself or other to death and serious injuries. You must not operate this crane unless you're trained and authorized for the crane operation, ready to understand and follow the safety operation recommendations combined with this manual. Your employees, your work rules, applicable government regulations, certifications is required in some of the U.S. states, and you're sure that all safety signs, guards, and other safety features are in place in proper condition. Danger, the boom down, winch pull, and boom extending on the powered hat guy. 2. Blocking the crane will cause the death and serious injury with property damage. Do not allow the hook block to contact the boom tip of the hoisting up and extending the lower of the boom. Danger, tipping hazard. To avoid the death of serious injury, ensuring a load in the crane configuration with the capacity shown the load rating of the chart's notes. The crane should also have the functional load movement indicator of the control lockout system. Testing daily of the proper operation. Do not change the free programmed LMI setting or without first calling the Nordco. Alright, danger. Do not exceed workload limit. Danger, failure to obey with the following will result in death, serious injury, instability, structural damage. Ready to understand the follow the crane load work area charts. Do not exceed the winch crane ratings. Weight of the accessory attached with the boom and the load line must be deducted from the load charting ratings that added with the load weight. Do not exceed the manual boom extension and the JIB load ratings to reduce boom lengths. Danger, keep clear of the swinging radius for the cranes. Danger, do not walk under hanging load. Danger, crushing hazard, superstructure rotation. Death and serious injury could result from being crushed by the moving machinery. Clear all personnel from the counterweight with the superstructure before the rotating the superstructure. Follow the instruction operator and safety handbook. Danger: riding on the boom or hook load of the load line will result in death or injury. That results in death or a serious injury. Never ride on the boom, hook, load, or any device attached to the crane by the load line. Danger: after injuring, avoid injury to yourself. Boom can fall when the pins are removed. Do not remove the pins until the boom is supported properly with the blocking of the boom. Suspension ropes are relocated, distributed in operator's manual. In absence of sufficient information for the manual, consult with the manufacturer. Danger: failure to maintain the anti-tube blocking system will result in injury, death of serious injury, and the anti-tube blocking system of the crane must be tested daily for the proper operation. See owner's manual detail. When the anti-blocking system is activated with the boom and the telescope winch up, the function cease operation to restore the normal function. Winch down function on the boom retraction function must be operated until the load line block allows the two anti-blocking tube blocking sensing weight and achieve the case of the hanging freely. Danger: failure to obey the following will result in death or serious injury. Inspecting the crane in operation daily for the crane stability. Use only the solid level surface of the outriggers. Properly extended crane must be level. Operators all control smoothly. Never operate the crane with personal under the boom or load. Keep on load under the boom tip. Do not slide the load, bottom drag loads, or avoid free swinging loads. You keep it at least 3 wraps of the load line and winch drum. For traveled bottom outriggers must be in the stowed position. The operator must reduce loads to allow the factors such as wind, ground conductor conditions, operation speed, effective freely, and suspended loads. Danger: electrocution hazard. If the crane is not insulated. Death or serious injury will result from contact with inadequate clearance. Maintain safety clearance for the electrical lines. Allow the boom and electrical line, load line swaying. If the crane does not provide protection with the contractor with proximity to the electrical charge conductor, maintain a clearance of at least 10 feet between any part of the crane load line of the load and any electrical line carrying up to 50,000 volts. If the electrical line voltage is unknown, assume the maximum voltage. Maintain clearance of at least 45 feet. Nominal kilovoltage phases to 50, 10 feet, 50 to 200, 15 feet, 200 to 35 feet, 200 to 350 feet, 20 feet, 350 volt minimum nominal voltage kilovolts, 25 feet, 500 to 750 kilovolts, 35 feet, 750 to 1,000 kilovolts, 45 feet. Additional danger alerts. Danger: improper use of the machine. Any type of operation can cause serious injury, death. To avoid serious injury and death, make sure that the area under the machine is clear of all personal obstruction. And before traveling or working, serious injury to death can result by reaching and working with the components while making a machine is running. Make all observation from the distance and shut off machine while making adjustments. Shut off the engine while checking the battery electrical level. Do not check the fill of the battery in presence of the open flame sparks with smoking. Battery fumes are flammable or explosive. If ignited, will result in severe bodily injury or death. Do not ride on couplers or any of the rail equipment not designed for the purpose of falling from the moving vehicle. May cause serious injury or death. Warning alerts. Warning: failure to engage the swing lines before propelling at travel speed can result in injury to the personnel or extensive damage to the machine. Remove the hose fittings only when the system is not pressurized. High pressure leaks can cause personal injury. Always turn off the machine when performing maintenance. Making adjustments whenever unintended movement of the machine could occur, unless directed otherwise. Failure to comply could result in personal injury and/or damage to the machine. Exhaust emissions could be caused by use of the engine on the machine. May cause cancer and birth defects and other reproductive harm. And if inhaled, disconnect the battery before servicing in this machine. Failure to do so could result in personal injury, accident, engine startup. Alright, lockout and tagout requirements. The following list suggests a lockout procedure with all the components of the machine required for the lockout due to the storage of the various forms of the energy, and the company is responsible for the lockout and tagout procedure based on the list of the terrain. You either proper safety use to periodically inspect your work area to verify that you are complying with the procedure. Lockout and tagout procedures must be followed. Nordco has provided the means to lock out the machine. Nordco cannot be held responsible for injury caused by the failure to comply with your company's lockout or tagout procedures. Lockout and tagout procedure. The following procedure is designed to lead operative with the step of the result with the shutout down machine prep preparing the performing mechanical maintenance working. These procedures are intended to release the potential dangers stored energy forms, making the machine safe to begin with repair. Safety procedure: lockout, tag out. Number one, chock wheels to prevent accident rolling of the machine on the grade. Two, if you have not already done so, determine what the components from the or do you have maintenance that makes place all the machine mechanical systems or workheads in full up and lock position. 3, when working on the boom, lower the boom to a 0-degree position on the blacks and place the stands. Turn the ignition switch to the off position. This turns off the power to control circuits on the machine. Place the tag out card in close proximity of the ignition switch. Turn the battery disconnection switch or BDS to the off position. Place the tag out device on the switch. Place the hydraulic pressure. Bleed off the hydraulic pressure. 7, and follow all the company's lockout tagout rules before proceeding. Note: when working on the machine components, be aware the moving components during the repairs may create energy. Moving a hydraulic cylinder, proper precautions should be taken. Safety decals on the machine. Safety decals and plaques have been placed on the machine or kept clean and legible. Replace any decals or plaques that have become illegible or missing when repairing or replacing components that have safety decals on them. If your responsibility to replace the safety decals, they can be ordered with the parts sales department. Refer to Figure 6.4 of the mechanical section of the parts numbers, all safety decals and plaques. Alright, general.